KBOI 2 News this morning.
614 Twin Falls is a community struggling to move on a year after a shocking attack put the town in national headlines. Natalie Hurst was sent on a special assignment in Twin Falls. She found that many are hoping a recent plea deal will help the city heal. It's a story you'll see only on 2.
It's a big day for Twin Falls, a groundbreaking for a $6.5 million renovation to this 5-block stretch of Main Avenue. A welcome sight in what has been a long year for many in the community. Last June, the city found itself in the national headlines when 3 boys assaulted a young girl in a laundry room at the Fawnbrook Apartments.
It was difficult to have those conversations, and truthfully, it was difficult to get residents to sort of step up and say, no, that's not us, because you were trying to avoid the controversy. I think that's human nature.
Mayor Sean Beauregard says the national media coverage quickly turned to the boys' national origin and religion, and 24 residents became regulars at City Hall meetings, worried about refugee resettlement in Twin Falls.
So I think the biggest challenge of the last year of sort of being thrust into that spotlight is, to many outsiders, it was all about something new that was happening in Twin Falls. And my frustration is we've had refugee resettlement going on in Twin Falls since the 1980s.
He estimates roughly 200 to 300 refugees per year. Some residents tell us the images printed across headlines don't reflect the community's broader picture.
Some of it seemed to have been an extreme overreaction to what happened. Not to belittle what happened, but it did seem like it was being used for ulterior purposes.
This case has basically been going on for about a year now. Legal motions taking place at this county courthouse behind me. All of it sealed, which the county prosecutor says has led to a lot of misinformation about the case.
It's always a challenge to handle a case which gets this kind of publicity. The bigger challenge is handling a case which gets as much fraudulent publicity as this did.
Prosecutor Grant Loeb says the reality was those who know the most about the case aren't legally allowed to speak about it.
It's a serious case which the Twin Falls Police handled as a serious case from the beginning. My office handled it as a serious case from the beginning.
Last June, we spoke with a Fawnbrook Apartments resident named Grandma Joe, who witnessed the assault.
I said to him, "I'm sorry, what are you doing?" And he said, "Oh, just taking pictures." And I said, "Well, haven't you seen a wash machine and dryer before? Because that's what I thought he was doing."
Today, residents at Fawnbrook tell us the incident has united the neighborhood, and they've learned to look out for one another. How's the community feeling here at Fawnbrook?
Lately, it's been pretty okay. Everybody's getting along. Everything's moved on from everybody.
But it's a far different story for the parents of the little girl who was assaulted.
She was actually humiliated in various ways, including with urine, and she's traumatized. She is withdrawn. Her parents tell me she's much more reclusive and unhappy and scared.
Attorney Mark Gary represents parents Lacey and Levi Peterson and says they're satisfied with the felony plea deal for all 3 boys.
However, to say that this is a happy ending to the case, wouldn't be accurate. Obviously, we still have the sentencing phase, and quite frankly, we want to see the harshest sentence possible imposed.
As for city officials, the mayor says it's time for Twin Falls to move on.
Are there concerns about terrorism? Yes. Are there fears about the refugee resettlement program? Yes. Are there terrible things happening in the world? Absolutely. Will us not having a refugee resettlement program solve any of those? Not at all.
In Twin Falls, Natalie Hurst, KBOI 2 News.
All 3 boys will be sent in sometime in the next 3 weeks. Meanwhile, the City Council has reviewed a draft proposal to designate Twin Falls as an official welcoming city for all. It's something the mayor hopes will eventually pass.